We're talking quarterback in our next topic, which is brought to us by Prize Picks, the daily fantasy app where making the right call can actually pay off. We all make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right means cashing in. With football back, Prize Picks is the simplest and fastest way to get in on the action. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections, and you can turn your takes into real prizes, all in less than 60 seconds. Download the Prize Picks app today and use promo code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is promo code LOCKEDONNFL for $50 off in lineups after you play your first 5. Prize Picks is good to be right. Also, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show if you haven't. We got a bunch of people watching today. If you are watching and not already a subscriber, hit the like button. Do us a favor. It costs you $0.00. All right, guys, on our post-game show last night, after we gave some immediate thoughts on the Browns' win, the discussion immediately shifted to how putrid the Browns' offense looked for the first 56 minutes and whether or not Joe Flacco could be the Browns' long-term answer there. Not long-term in terms of the season, but long-term for the next couple of weeks because of how poorly he played once again. We've talked about this.
In Browns world a couple weeks.
A couple weeks is a long time for the Browns.
Right. No, this is just silly. Dylan Gabriel, sorry, Mike, to cut you off.
No,
Dylan Gabriel should be playing. This is silly. I don't care what any of the Browns beat reporters say anymore. Even Zach, I love him, and he's going to tell me again this week, and Jason's probably going to say again this week. Joe Flacco, it's unfortunate, but he is not good at football. We all know this. He's not good at football. Let's
just say he's old.
He had 8 seconds where he was good in 2023. Besides that, he's been bad for a decade, and it's enough. It's enough. We can't watch. Almost every throw he makes is bad. He can't move. He's old. He's not accurate anymore. He's not. He's throwing balls. Even in the first week when people were lauding his performance, I said he wasn't accurate. And I was right.
He was 31 of 45 with 7 drops.
I don't care. There's 7 drops. He's throwing everything low. He's throwing it high. He stinks. I love him.
Jay,
he
you
stinks.
agree?
He's terrible. Get him out. Can't play. Gabriel can't be worse, Jason. He can't be worse.
At halftime, when Ty and I were having our powwow, I think I said then, I think I'm going to have to write, it's time to go to Dylan. And I think this win probably bought them a stay of execution for another week or two. I still think the plan is Miami, October 19th.
Why?
I just think they want to get through these first few games.
But why?
I'm kind
of.
of.
You don't learn sitting on the bench. Let's go play.
Well.
Go ask Deion Sanders. He don't learn sitting on the bench.
All right. Well, that's a foolish thing to say because you may not learn sitting on the bench, but you can get the hell beat out of you by not sitting on the bench.
So what? He's a 3rd-round pick. Who cares?
Now, see, that's the part I actually agree with.
Yeah.
This is not like the future of your franchise.
No.
It's not like they took this guy as a top 5 pick. And, okay, if you go to him too soon and then you go back to Joe, you destroy his.
Yeah.
Listen, he's a 3rd-round pick.
Right, exactly.
And he's
a
played
long
64
he was
games.
He was a bridge 2 years ago.
And
then they blew up that bridge, and then they tried to build it again.
Yeah,
He's got a ton of college experience. I didn't want to play him this week. I didn't think this was I was definitely on the don't play him for Cincy, Baltimore, Green Bay. Don't love the idea of playing him in Detroit, but it's better than the Packers, even though you're on the road and it's going to be loud and all that, and here's at home. I'm at the point where I'm like, yeah, okay, play them. Now, they're not going to, at least not right now.
Not.
But I do think, because if it's a disaster, you can go back to Joe.
Right.
So what?
Yeah, exactly. Who cares?
So it's not like you're destroying the confidence of the quarterback that you expect to be here for the next 10 to 15 years. And maybe he can give you some sort of spark. Like I said, I do think he's going to be able to move a little bit better. I do think he can spark the offense a little bit. He hasn't been terrible in the games that we've seen him. I know everybody at practice and that stupid quarterback tracker that was more destructive than helpful all summer long.
I don't know. Who cares about any of that?
But I'm just saying, everyone has a bad taste in their mouth because of Dylan. But he hasn't looked bad in the preseason games that we saw him. He looked fine. It was garbage time against Baltimore. He looked fine there. So give him a chance.
Yeah.
And if it's awful and it's a disaster and you need to go back to Joe, then go back to Joe in 4 weeks. So what?
This segment by G. Bush is sponsored by the Medicare Advantage program. Joe, I like it. I appreciate you, but we're not going to give you half off on the Salvation Army with your Buckeye card. It's Green Ticket Day. It's time to go, man. Listen, there's not even no emotion involved with it because he's at the point where he's playing, and I'm going to get specific. He's at the point where he's looked like he's checking the football down just to keep his job. I'm like, bro, have you ever seen a flea flicker tight end screen in my life. Have you seen
That was wild.
a flea flicker tight end dump off screen?
Isaiah Bond was wide open.
And he was
Wide open.
Although
there was a linebacker in the middle of the field there that they didn't point out on the telecast. I actually
Linebacker ain't
went
catching
back.
Bond.
No. It would have been intercept. I went back and looked at it because they said he had a man that he missed. I went back later, looked at it, paused it. Had he thrown that ball, it likely would have been picked off. There was a linebacker underneath.
If he threw a straight
go
line
back and
drive
look at it,
late,
Mike. I froze it.
I'm looking at the freeze frame right
Yeah,
here, Jay.
he was right there, Mike.
If he
Call it
shot
up.
him with a bullet and
Throw
it
it
did
up.
not go over 3 feet on the ground, yes, it would have picked off.
But
Bond's 8 yards behind him.
Throw it
You
up,
gotta-
Mike.
you gotta look.
Anticipation.
He still has to throw it through that airspace to get him the football.
G, continue. I'll pull the picture up and we'll.
Yeah,
prove
there
it.
we go.
Well
Yes,
done.
please.
So he was wide open. He missed Bond. He sailed the football. And Bull is right. He has not been accurate. Like when he's throwing the ball is 2 yards out of bounds. Like he's not giving guys and the check down Charlie Brown stuff that looked cool and it's like okay great. Do you know he averaged 3.9 yards per drop back
that's
pass?
insane.
He's only averaging 5 for the whole season.
3.9
for the entire season.
His only touchdown this year is a ball that should have been was
an interception.
picked, and it popped out of his
Should have
hand.
been an interception. He's thrown 2 touchdowns.
He simply.
He threw one in week 1. Yeah.
He simply does not give the Browns a best chance to win. And like this, to be honest with you, you're limited with what you can run in your offense. We talk about people not being where they want to be. Hey, listen, let's talk about the people that you can't get away from people in the pocket. You throwing the ball, you're inaccurate, and at the end of the day, man, this excuse is like we're not sending Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders to Iraq, man. They're
Right,
playing,
exactly.
Like they're playing freaking football.
What they've been doing their whole lives.
Like what is this? What is this stuff with people and they're gonna mentally melt? Bull is right. If you're a quarterback, if Zach Wilson melts, he's not good.
That's right.
If you can't handle, like we all work in this profession. If they say somebody, hey, you want to be in this, and they turn them cameras on, and you freeze up, and you don't say nothing, you didn't meant to be here. We didn't destroy your confidence. You just weren't good. It's a difference between confidence and not being able to play the position. At this point in time, Joe Flacco is 41 years old, right?
Wait, is he 40? 41?
40.
He's 40.
Yeah, 40.
He's 40 years old. Let me tell you something. The only person I've seen ball after 40 is Tom Brady. At the end of the day, when you look at this, think about this. The Baltimore Ravens decided almost a decade ago he was washed. What are you talking about? They own a second quarterback. No disrespect, but Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders cannot possibly be as worse as what Joe Flacco is at this point. And guess what? Have a day, Cleveland Browns. Do yourself a favor. You already went with the youth movement. Turns out that half the best players on your team are rookies and young guys. Maybe you might slip up and find that at quarterback. But guess what? The scars are there. We understand the Deshaun Watson, the Baker Mayfield. We are petrified in our souls to see a quarterback that might actually fail. We are petrified. But guess what? You don't have nothing to lose anyway.
We shouldn't be. We've seen enough of them.
We've seen it. I seen what Joe was.
I got this screenshot, Jay.
Bring it
We're
up.
going to take this fold.
Bring it up.
If you were to try and tell me this would be picked off, I'm going to have to revoke your football credentials speaking.
Oh, no, that's not picked off. He's wide open. He can throw
By
it
who?
open.
Who's going to get picked off?
Who's
The
that?
guy in
the
the
man-
front side of the circle.
The guy at the 36?
Directly between, the man directly between the quarterback and the wide receiver.
That perception, that is a mile away.
He would need a
He's
trampoline and
closer
a
to the
pogo
receiver
stick.
than he is to the quarterback.
No.
The
That's not getting
quarterback's
there.
on the 40.
I've never been more wrong in your
He's
life, Jay.
12 yards away. The
Which
receiver
guy
is
you
7 yards away from him.
He's 20 yards in between
I'm
two
confused
people.
which guy you're talking
The
about.
guy at the
The
30
linebacker?
The guy at
I'm
the front of the
sorry.
43-yard
At
line.
the 43.
43-yard line. The guy
who's
between
running
Joe and
towards the
Bond.
quarterback?
Yes, that's who
Yeah.
Jay's talking about.
Okay.
How would he intercept the ball? You're going to throw it over his head.
Well,
That's what I'm
let's
saying.
draw a line. I wish we had a telestrator. Let's draw a straight line between Flacco and the receiver.
But like the
Who's directly
Hold
in
on.
between them?
But like I said, you don't throw the ball in a straight.
But like the earth,
It's not a pitch.
When you're
So he can't move one step to his right laterally?
no,
He's
no.
a linebacker.
Are we putting
Jay, you're
trampoline?
throwing over his head.
Are we putting
trajectory
trampolines
involved.
on the field now?
Throw it over his head and watch the safety who's already
safety's
breaking.
10
towards
yards
him.
back.
10
See,
yards
that's
back.
the thing. When you take a freeze frame, you can't see motion. You don't know how fast everybody's moving in what direction.
This is the craziest
Look,
take you've ever had,
look,
Jay.
Joe-
In the history of the show, this is your
let me ask you
craziest
this. Let me
That's
ask
a
you
high
this.
bar.
What's
This
the
is
higher
wild.
percentage pass? And by the way, we're going to all agree on this in terms of should Joe go or not. But in terms of the higher percentage completion, which one is it?
This is 99%.
No, it's not.
Yes,
You can't
No,
miss
it's
that
not.
throw to
You
the
can't
He would
miss that.
throw that and it would
That's
get
as
picked
easy
off,
a
and it's the
20-yard
same moment
layup as
everybody
you'll
would
ever
jump
get
up
in
and
the
say,
NFL.
High school-
what was he throwing that pass for?
High school
understand
kid.
how two guys 10 yards away from him are going to pick it off. I don't
Jay,
understand.
that's
No.
That
He's closer to the receiver than he is
That-
to the quarterback.
This is Avon Lake
But he's
Middle
running
School.
towards the quarterback.
That is wide open.
To me,
in
it
the
looks like
NFL.
he's just standing there.
That is
he's
wide
playing
open.
linebacker.
That is-
He's ready to go wherever he needs
I know,
to
but
go.
if Joe throws it right there with some arc, which he would do, it's easily over his head. There's no way he's getting back on that.
That safety's going where? Where is the safety going?
It looks like he's
Nowhere.
headed towards
See,
Bond.
that's
but Bond
why-
is going on an angle.
The beauty of this is you can, and I've seen this happen a million times. You can freeze a play and say, "Oh my God, why didn't he go here? Why did he throw here?"
This has to be the
I,
most
I,
wide
what
open
other
I've
choice
ever
do we
seen a
have,
player.
Jay?
No.
Jay, if you're going to say that's going to get picked off, then I can say every pass is going to get picked off.
That is wide.
Guys,
open.
is he not going to have to throw that on a line?
No.
He's putting arc on it. It's a
Well,
lob
if he
pass.
puts arc on it, watch out for your safety.
the safety's 10 yards
Safety's
behind
10 yards
him.
back.
He's
Yeah,
not
but-
going to airmail it.
How fast is the ball going to get there?
A fast?
No, because he's not throwing it on a line. He's putting arc on it.
So you
So
don't.
the safety's
hold on,
not gonna
hold
break on that
hold
pass?
Hold on, Jay.
Jay, I love you,
hold
but
on,
you're
hold
so
on,
off on
hold
this
on,
one.
Jay. Listen, let me say. Listen, just because you put arc on the ball does not mean that you don't have velocity. It's velocity.
No, it's touch.
It's velocity and trajectory, and there's a level of touch there as well.
Gee, you're either going to throw it hard on a line, or you're going to put air under it on an arc.
Jay, he's not throwing it 50
All
yards.
right, okay, agree
Yeah,
to disagree.
Way off topic, because guess what, guys?
We can't.
This is silly.
We
This
can
is a
move on.
clean sweep.
Move on.
Yes,
Okay.
it's time, but my reason for changing is different from your guys. And it comes with a disclaimer. We're going to see the same stuff. We're going to see the same stuff. It's not like Dylan Gabriel's going to come in there and totally reinvent the offense.
Dylan Gabriel makes that throw.
He won't.
He can make that throw.
But here's what-
Shador Sanders can make that
Here's
throw.
what's going to happen, guys. Here's what's going to happen. In the future, as we move forward, we know what we've got on offensive line. We know what we have at wide receiver. When you make the change, just understand that you can't expect completely different results.
Why can't you?
Because
He
there's
can make that throw.
Bull, you know better than anyone that football is a complementary sport. You got to have the offensive line. You've got to have the wide receivers. Right now, they don't.
That
They
receiver
don't
right there
have-
is wide open.
Bro, that handwriting looks like. Did you write that with your opposite hand?
I'm doing it on a mouse pad
It's
with my right
terrible.
hand.
It's terrible.
All you got to do is throw it.
I don't think anybody's expecting it to be dramatically different right
it won't
away.
be.
But it could be.
But
It's possible.
here's the point. Here's the point
Yeah.
I want to make. Joe's old. Joe's slow. He's goes to a spot and he
Yeah.
stays there. He can't run. So anytime you devise an offense around a guy that's an immobile quarterback, you make it easy on the defense. I think you make the change because how good our defense is. If our defense played like it did last year and was just middle of the road, giving up 35 points, what difference does it make? At that point, yeah, you got to be all in on losing. You've got to lose. Right now, I'm not sure that they're going to get a top 3 draft pick. I'm not, because our defense is that good. So you owe it to the defense to at least make it look like you're trying. And I think it's a similar parallel to what's going on with the Giants. Last night, watching the Giants game, it kind of felt like that Ravens game for the Browns. Even though it was close in the third quarter, like even late in the third quarter, you felt like this game could be won by the Giants. And you've got the crowd booing Russell Wilson. Mm-hmm. And what's tricky about this is last week Russell Wilson pulled a 2023 Joe Flacco. He went out there and threw for 450. And then you're looking at Dart saying, can Dart do that? But then you watch last night and Russell was old Russell again. He looked old. He looked tentative. He threw some deep balls that I'm like, what does he even see on these passes? He was throwing into triple coverage. He should have had 3 or 4 passes intercepted. So you almost have to say to the defense, we recognize what you're doing, and we're going to at least roll the dice and give it a shot. Because with Joe, you have no shot whatsoever.
No.
None, 0, 0.
No.
Now, I don't go so far as to say he's bad at football. Joe Flacco's old. It happens to all of us.
Right.
When you get older, you lose certain skill sets. He was never mobile to begin with. If you would have told me that Joe Flacco, when he was 30, was going to play at 40, I would tell you that's going to be a disaster because he wasn't mobile when he was 30. So our package is pretty simple, isn't it? It's like we throw to tight ends and running backs out of the backfield. But suddenly, guys, we've run into an option at running back. And they even said it last night watching the Giants. They go, I think what the Giants have to do here is just go with Scatterbo. Just give them a healthy dose of that. And they no sooner said that, and they were dropping Russell back on all 3 downs of a series.
Here's what I want to say.
We got a running back, guys.
Here's what I want to say. It's more to coaching and front office work than just picking numbers off a list and saying, see what happens and throw it against the wall and see what sticks. It's about actually showing that you have a relationship with people and breathing confidence into people and say, listen, you don't think if you go to Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward and you say, listen, we know what Joe is. I done told Joe the same conversation. Joe, we going to play you until you don't ball. You know how this goes. You said it in the preseason. When you're not balling, our mandate is different all of a sudden. We got to get these other dudes ready to go. You don't think you can go to Myles Garrett and say, listen, we gonna need y'all to play lights out. We're going to need you to hold the rope. And I need you to make sure every other person over there is holding the rope defensively, even if we got a young quarterback in here. Then you go to them young quarterbacks and say, listen, this is a competition. We want to see what y'all got. Your time is now. When Joe is getting ready, you better be getting ready. When Joe is doing things in the offseason to prepare for these games or in the room that week, you better be getting ready as if you are playing. These guys are not children.
Don't you think they already tell them that?
No.
I mean, at quarterback, you're a snap away. You better be preparing that way.
Well, in that case, they would have already been playing them.
No. I'm just talking about the preparation.
But the definition, when people say Dylan Gabriel's not ready, the definition of a backup quarterback is that you need to be ready tomorrow within a snap. So if
snap away,
if he was not ready,
that's on the coach.
Then why is he the backup?
Yes, that's right.
Because he needs to be ready.
To that point, Jason, why I agree with you that they're not going to play Dylan Gabriel.
I was ready when they put him in there.
But why do you think Kevin, like if Kevin Stefanski had the truth serum right now, why is he not playing Dylan Gabriel?
I think he wants to stick with Joe for the veterans.
Do the veterans want Joe anymore?
I disagree with it. I'm just telling you. I think the plan all along was to get through these first 6.
Yeah.
And then
but why
see
not
where they were
the
at,
plan?
and then see where they were at.
But at that point, you could be too far down the rabbit hole for it to make any difference. I agree with you with the defense.
To make any difference in terms of what?
Well, if you're 0-6 at that point, like what is it?
You're not. You're 1-5 now.
Okay, you're 1-5 at that point.
And you're trying to get a quarterback next year anyway, so 1-5 isn't the worst of
Chris Collinsworth said something else that was funny last night. He said, when they draft a young quarterback, the fact of the matter is it's usually the next coach's quarterback. And if you think about that, and then Tirico said, historically, that seems to be true. When you've got a guy and they draft a guy, typically you're drafting the quarterback. You're not saying that when you draft it, but oftentimes it ends up being the next head coach's quarterback. We could find out in week 4 what Dylan Gabriel is, or at least begin to find out. I think, Detroit's defense is fine. They're great. I don't think they're as good as some of the defenses that they're going to face this year. Maybe Detroit is the defense to put them out there. That could be a shootout of a game.
I would, like I said, I would not put him out there against Baltimore on the road.
No.
I would not put him out there against Micah and Green Bay. We're at the point now, though, it's like, just put him out there.
Yes, just see what you have.
It can't be worse than what you.
Let me tell you why.
Yeah.
Because I've said this all along. Again, he's a last man standing. Kevin Stefanski is in charge of the offense. We have changed everything about the offense. We've changed quarterbacks, we've changed tackles, we've changed support staff. He is the last man remaining. If you put rookies in the game, he will be judged upon how those rookies look. He will be judged, as he should. They're going to look at, did you prepare them? How good did they look? What are you doing with the offense? Are we seeing positive plays? If there are no positive plays to be had and it does not look good, it's going to give people less confidence in the fact that he can actually go get another quarterback the next year and do what he didn't do this year. But the problem you have with this whole slow play game is you're going to end up doing the same thing you're doing this year. If Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel don't play, they're going to jettison them and put them in camp with another rookie quarterback, and now you have 2 guys who haven't played and another guy who you invested a lot of money in the first round pick. So he's eventually going to play. regardless.
Well, I mean, Dylan Gabriel's definitely
going to
to
play this year.
I don't,
Yeah, he's
I,
absolutely
I don't know
gonna
about
play.
Shador,
He
but
is
Dylan's
going
on.
to
Let's get it done. What are we waiting for?
Yeah, that's it's a
I
fair question.
think I think everybody here agrees.
Yeah.
I do think when you draft a quarterback in the third round, it comes with. I know we'll have labels.
It's a lot different than a first-round
That's
quarterback.
and that's where I'm going with this. If I think if he was, look, I think we're going to see Dart in New York next week, or there's going to be a mutant.
And Russell Wilson's been overall better than Flacco.
He has been. There's more reason to keep Russell Wilson than there is to keep Joe Flacco.
There was no reason for
But
us.
you know what? What Russell last week reminded me of Joe in 23. He just went out there and slung it all around and made everybody go, well, wait a minute. I guess this guy can still play. We said that about Joe in 23. Now it's 2 years later. If it was a first-round pick, you absolutely have to see what you have. He's a third-round pick. You still need to know. You have to find out what he is. And at some point, we're probably going to see Shedeur Sanders.
Probably.
Either by choice, because Gabriel, look, I don't expect Gabriel to look much better.
Well,
I don't.
The thing with Dylan that you were concerned about is injuries.
Yes.
With guys, you're that small. When you get hit,
I know.
Well, they should've
But that's not a
drafted him.
reason not to play him.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have drafted him.
That's
No,
on the that's on the team at this point.
That was a concern with Baker. I said
Yes.
that about Baker.
Yeah.
Baker's too small. He's going to get hurt.
Baker hasn't missed a game in how many years?
Yeah, he's been
You
healthy.
know, some guys just have that, they have the ability to take the hits and jump right back up. Let's find out if Dylan Gabriel's that guy. Because you know what? He's going to need to be that guy. Because guess what they're saying in Cincinnati right now? We've got a lottery ticket, but we can only scratch half of it.
And let me be
because
clear.
you can't see him.
When I say I've never viewed Dylan Gabriel as the answer to this franchise at quarterback for the long term. Never, not once.
No.
I've never said it. I'm just saying, like, when you got a quarterback that size, there is a huge injury risk, and that's part of the reason why I don't think he's a franchise quarterback answer for this team for the next 10, 12
I think
years.
the interesting part of this is going to be, and I don't know what week we're going to see him, but when we eventually see Dylan Gabriel, what leash does he get? Does he get the whole season no matter what?
That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense, especially when you got another quarterback that you drafted last year.
The only way I would play Dylan Gabriel the entire rest of the season is if he's
he plays
phenomenal.
well. If he plays well.
Plays well,
he's
yeah.
great, then I'm not taking him out.
No, you wouldn't.